Welcome back to Shots Fired, the Columbus Hotshots podcast. Today, we're going to recap an exciting weekend number one of the 2025 National Pickleball League season. I'm Jeff McKnight, and I'm joined once again by the Dean of Senior Pickleball, Michael Sliwa. Sleeves, what's going on?
Hey, good to be here. Pretty exciting first week. Obviously, we didn't know a lot of things going into the season, but we've gotten some things figured out, at least in 1 week. That doesn't mean it's necessarily the way the whole season is going to go, but we actually have some play to discuss, which is nice.
Yeah, that's great. It's exciting times. And now, Sleeves, as the Dean of Senior Pickleball, I know you've analyzed the results, you've turned over every stone, you've examined the data with a fine-tooth comb, and we'll get into all that in a second. But is there anything that jumps out right away after the first weekend?
Yeah, well, for me, the 5 teams that I had power ranked, three still make, I think, in the top 5 in the rankings of standings, and 3 of them make in my power rankings as well. Obviously, Boca was a surprise. For me, they got punched in the face a little bit there, and we're going to see how they respond for the rest of the season. And on an individual side, Hedberg just remains really hot. I mean, undefeated, obviously, and coming off his U.S. Open and things like that. So he's a player to look for. So.
Yeah, that's great. In Boca's defense, I know they did have a lot of subs this weekend, so it's a little tricky analyzing. But like we said before, it'll take about till mid-season before we kind of get a full grasp on these teams. But I think there's a lot of parity in the league and a lot of strong teams. So, let's get after it. What we want to start each month, we want to recognize here on Shots Fired the top performing players of the month. So these players must have a minimum of 6 matches played, which would be 75% of the matches. So for weekend one, NPL had an amazing 8 players go undefeated, including from the Austin McKnight, Meredith Geiger-Walton went 6-0. Now she's a former All-American tennis star from Arizona University and a great pickleball player. Also going undefeated was Scott Burr from Coachella Valley Scorpions, 2 Columbus Hotshots, John Hedberg, and NPL Combine winner Donnie Russell, the iconic women's duo from the Denver Iconics, Molly Carter and Gina Salento, both went 8-0, and 2 Oklahoma City Punisher women, Candace Nelms and Totiko Yamasato, both went 6-0. Incredible playing from those great 8 undefeated players.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, to come out of the what is that? Not the tryout, but the combine, and win the combine, and then get into your first real live play with your team, and to go undefeated. That's pretty impressive as well. So kudos to Donnie.
Yeah, all great players there. Now, Sleeves, like you mentioned, we did a preseason power ranking, and now the things have probably shifted around a little bit after weekend one. After weekend one in the NPL, we have 5 of the 12 teams with a winning record. 4 of those teams went 3-1, 1 finished undefeated. Do you want to give us your kind of updated power ranking, starting with number 5 through number 1, and I'll have some commentary on each team.
So real quick, last week I had OKC at 5, Denver at 4, Houston at 3, Columbus at 2, and Boca at 1. So this week, I have, breaking into my top 5 power rankings, Seattle. Obviously, they knock off the defending champs in their first round. That's always nice to do and build some confidence. And so then they get out of the gate, and they lose a very close one to the only undefeated team this week in Coachella. And then they take care of business, and they beat 2 very tough squads in tough matches against OKC and KC. So I have Seattle at 5, breaking into the top 5 in my power rankings.
Now, that's a good choice. Seattle finished second place in the LA event with a 3-1 record. Like you said, they had big wins against Boca, OKC, and Kansas City Stingers. Seattle had an amazing 5 players with only 1 loss for the entire weekend, including Tom Tueller, Mills Miller, Andrea Olson, Karabeth Lee, and Natasha Linton. And then other players on Seattle Tsunami with winning records include Brian Baker, Eric Lee, and Janet Brister. So Seattle's definitely a tough team to watch.
Yeah, great start.
Who do you have for number 4?
So four, it remains my four from last week, and that is Denver. They lose a close one to Coachella. Then they take care of business. They beat OKC, close win over Kansas City. And then they finish off, again, beating the defending champs Boca. So that's a great start for Denver. And obviously Scott goes like 7-1 on the day, helps push that team along. So great start for Denver Iconics.
Yeah, Denver played great all weekend. Besides the Pod 1 women we mentioned with Gina and Molly going undefeated, they actually had 3 players go 7-1 for weekend number 1, including Scott Fliegelman, like you said, Chad Shane, and NPL Combine winner Ann Corson. So Denver's Pod 1 lineup went an unbelievable 15-1 for weekend number 1. They only lost 1 match out of 16 all weekend. That kind of play from the top line puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the opposing team to try and somehow find 7 wins when you're playing against that Denver squad. So Denver, the other iconic player with the winning record was Janie McKenna, had a winning record. And Sleeves, you had him in the top 5. I didn't in the preseason. Looks like you made the right call there.
Yeah, and it's nice to see these folks that are winning the combines coming out and really making an impact in week 1, because that's pressure and expectations to be met. And it's nice to see folks doing that both on the men's and the women's side as well.
Absolutely. What do you think for team number 3?
So 3, I have the undefeated. I have Coachella. They were not in my top 5, and they obviously come out and they beat Denver, which obviously a great team. We just talked about in depth. Seattle tight games, win those as well. They handle Boca and they win a tough one to finish the day over OKC. So, undefeated weren't on my radar to start the season, but moving their way up to number 3, and I'll be really interested to see what they do in the next round, because they're no secret anymore. There's kind of probably a little bit of a target on their back, since they're the only team that has not lost yet.
Yeah, some interesting things about the Coachella Valley Scorpions. They finished first place with the only undefeated record, like we said, in the Los Angeles event. So they won the big check. They went undefeated. Most impressive, like you mentioned, that OKC match, because Coachella was down 6-1 on Sunday afternoon against Coachella. They rallied the troops, won 5 straight mixed doubles matches to end up the weekend undefeated. That's incredible, because Sunday afternoon, everybody's tired, exhausted. It's been a long weekend. To be that far down and to fight back shows incredible team character. So, and interesting also, Coachella has a very balanced attack. Other players with winning records besides Scott Burr went undefeated. The other players with winning records were Cord Robbins, Keith Jane, John Reedy, David Katz, Sabrina Gillibro, Kim Jade, Natalie Hill, Brandy Zaslansky, all of them with winning records. So they're solid, the entire lineup. So they're going to be a team to reckon with all year.
Yeah, they may have maybe Vince Vaughn gave them a call when they were down 6-1 and said, "Hey, let's
go." a true underdog story.
Exactly.
What do you have for team number 2?
Well, I have the rivalry, is what I call it. At 2, I have Houston. They lose a tough one to y'all in Columbus on the road, but they bounce back and they win 3 really tough matches against Naples, Indy, and Princeton. It's tough when you lose out of the gate to a team that really knocked you out last year, I believe, correct? In the playoffs, is that what happened?
Yeah, absolutely. In the semifinals, we had a team breaker and beat Houston.
And then to come back and lose that in a heartbreaker, and then to have the fortitude to go, okay, we got an entire weekend yet that we got to play, and not blowout matches, but grinding through those and winning those tough, close ones, which at the end of the season, kind of puts where your seeding is. So I think Houston is a tough team as well, like Coachella, put in situations where they had to fight, and they did.
Yeah, Houston, interesting. They started the weekend with both Saturday matches had team breakers. So they lost the one to us, and then they won another one. And then, like you said, their other 2 matches went 7-5. So they had 4 tough, close battles, but they pulled those 3 of them out. And it shows how great of a team they are. Also shows how close the parity is in this league, where some of these matches can come down to coin flips or whoever's playing best at that third match, that third set. Playing well for Houston were two NPL rookies, Tomer Graziani and Eller Novoseletsky, who both went 5-1 for the weekend. Other hammers with winning records include Lance Cowart, Carrie Yu, Bernard LeBlanc, and Amy Blumrosen. So it was definitely hammer time in Columbus last weekend. They played great.
Yeah, and I think being challenged and weathering the storm early in the season bodes well for a team like that, because you got the guts to do it, and you can fight back even when you take a tough one on the chin right out of the gate. So.
Yes, sir. Okay, so who do you have? I think I might guess, but who do you have rounding out the top five at number one?
Well, last week I obviously had the Hotshots at number two, and Boca at one, and Boca took a bunch on the chin. So Columbus, to me, automatically moves to that position until proven otherwise. So at home, tight one against Houston, which we just covered. Close win over Indy. Indy's won a title in this league, so always look out for them. Lose a close one to Austin, and Austin is a finalist in this league, so no joke there in that franchise. And then finish well with a decent win over Naples. I think that's very solid. Took care of business at home. Came in as the number two in my ranking, and Boca's not there anymore, so I just kind of slide you up, and there you are. So now you got the target on you.
That's right. We have the sleeves target on us. So, and we'll try to deal with that best we can. Yeah. We have America's team, the Columbus Hotshots. I'll tell you what, to show you how close things were, the Hotshots only won 54% of our matches this weekend, and we still finished number one in Columbus for the weekend. So we want to thank all of our Hotshots fans who came out to paddle taps. We needed all the hometown support that we got, and we sure got it. So besides John Hedberg and Donnie Russell going undefeated, other hotshots with winning records include Chris Headings, Adam Painter, Natalie Todorovic-Shaw, and Renee Chang.
Well, that's the thing. You got Chris and you got John, who are just a tough out to get by anybody to beat them. And then obviously the surprise, maybe not a surprise because the guy obviously did very well in the combine, is Donnie, and that's a nice draft pick to have and come in right out of the gate and make a big impact. So.
Yeah, he played great along with all the Hotshots players. So yeah, we're excited about the season coming up. So okay, that's a good five list. I appreciate you doing that. So next up, we're going to announce the first winner of the very prestigious Sleeves NPL Player of the Month. We're going to do this every month. It's going to go to a top ranked female player and male player that Sleeves feels like helped their team do well for the weekend. So Sleeves, fire away.
Yeah, let's start with the male. For me, I was pretty big last week on Hedberg coming out of the U.S. Open and winning, and then he goes 8-0. He kind of I don't know if you even listened to the podcast or what he knows what's going on, but he had some pressure on him. He's got some momentum going, and he did his job as a pod one guy and got a bunch of wins and 0 losses. So I don't see how you can't pick him as being a guy. He was 8-0, and so I picked John Hedberg for the male side player of the week.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And yeah, John is a true student of the game. He's just going to continue to get better and better. He analyzes everything. He sends me notes all the time on players and strategies and things like that. So John's an excellent representative of the NPL. We're lucky to have him for 2 years in a row on the Columbus Hotshots. One interesting fun fact about John is that he was a ball boy for about a decade on the Stockton Malone era Utah Jazz teams. So he was out on the court with all your NBA legends like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. He would, feed him the balls during shoot around, all that stuff. So John's got a million great stories. He's a good, fun guy to hang out with. And so congratulations, John, on being the first male Sleeves Player of the Month.
Yeah, and hanging around champions and winners, it couldn't help but wear off on him. And he's long. It's probably hard to get a ball to bounce in the kitchen against a guy like that. So
That's right. How about on the women's side?
women's side is pretty same type of thing. I have Gina Valento and Molly Carter. They both teamed up. They went 8-0 together. They went 8-0. Obviously together they were undefeated, and then on their mixed teams they went undefeated as well in carrying Denver to in my power rankings at number 4 and having a great start to a season. So I have Gina and Molly as my female athletes, players of the week/month, whatever we're going to call it.
Yep, that sounds good. Co-winners. I like it for the first one. A little controversy. No, just kidding. That's great. Okay. Well, I've got a couple other notes for weekend 1 as we start to wind down. I just wanted to do a special shout out to the Austin Ignite. I kind of follow the league, not just our matches, but what's going on. And I want to, little stories that pop up. And Austin Ignite, they had some injuries on Saturday that they were dealing with. They went 0-2 on Saturday, including a brutal 11-1 loss by the Princeton Bruisers. So they could have easily packed it in, called it a weekend. Instead of that, they came out Sunday morning, beat the hometown heroes, Columbus Hotshots, 7-5. That's an incredible gutting performance by Austin Ignite. Austin has many good players, including a really fun pairing of tough NPL veteran Isla Main and NPL Rookie of the Year candidate Katree Bozer. Very, very good team. So nice job, Austin, for keep fighting under tough conditions.
Yeah, and very good leadership in Austin as well. I love their ownership team, and no surprise there. Got the effort, and they rallied the troops.
Yes, sir. I also want to mention the Columbus Hotshots side. We had a celebrity pro tournament on the Wednesday before weekend 1. We took some Hotshots players, open pro players, local teaching pros, and celebrity pickleball players, mixed them all together, did a blind draw pairing, and had a very competitive 8-team tournament. We had Super Bowl champs, we had World Series champs, Olympic gold medalists, Ohio State basketball stars. It was a really fun night, and I want to congratulate the winning team of the Stanley Cup champion, Freddie Modine, and the top-ranked pickleball player in the world, age 15 and under, Cam Chafin. Now, Cam's an open pro from my hometown. That's right. Remember that name. He's playing a lot of tournaments right now. So he's just getting ready to start high school also. So I've known Cam for ever since I started playing, because he's from my hometown of Grove City, Ohio. I like to say I taught him everything he knows, but the reality is him and his older brother, Connor, taught me much more about pickleball. So great family, and congratulations on those two. I want to thank again the people at Paddle Taps and all of our Hotshots fans who came out for that night, the whole weekend. Our sponsor, Great Lakes Auto, gave away a ton of free Columbus Hotshots t-shirts, so it was a great time. As a side note, Freddie Modine and Ohio State basketball star Matt Sylvester are both about 6'7", and they're excellent pickleball players. So it was kind of neat to see those tall guys tower over everyone else on the courts. Normally you don't see really tall guys playing high-level pickleball, so that was really a fun part of the night. All right, Sleeve. So on the next
what's it like to have a guy who's I was just gonna say, what's it like to have a guy who's 6'7" speed one up at you 14 feet away only?
No, those long arms too. You can't drop it in the
No
kitchen.
joke, because actually it's about only 10 feet away from you after he speeds up.
Oh yeah, those guys are both great guys and great pickleball players.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, as we wind down, I think on the next episode of Shots Fired, we'll feature an NPL Weekend number 2 preview to look forward to, and much, much more. As a teaser, we've kind of already talked about him a little bit, but there's going to be an epic matchup on Saturday morning in Denver for weekend number 2. You'll not want to miss that. We'll discuss that next episode. I want to thank our sponsors today, Great Lakes Hyundai of Columbus and Great Lakes Hyundai of Dublin. Go visit them for the best deals on Hyundais or any pre-owned vehicles. Go watch my main man Sleeves in the hit movie Dreambreaker, a pickleball story, which is streaming now on HBO Max, and subscribe to his popular podcast, Sleeves Senior Pickleball Report. If you enjoyed this episode of Shots Fired, please like this video and subscribe on YouTube. It's all free, so just give us a click. Sleeves, anything else you want to mention today?
No, I'm just looking forward to week 2 because I think as we start to shake things out, teams make adjustments, and sometimes we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, injury wise or substitution wise. So as we get towards mid season, like we've mentioned several times, I think we'll start to see who's starting to roll towards October.
Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan to me. So, behalf of Sleeves and myself, I want to thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you on the courts.
Right on.